Afternoon, all. I want to welcome you to our Marketing Minutes webinar series hosted on the first and third Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Thank you for taking the time to join us. We have a guest host today, myself. I am the Director of Advisor Resource Center, Mara Balderman, and our guest host is Sharon Washington of the P3 Solution. Sharon?
Hi. Thanks for inviting me.
Thank you for being here. You're an excellent resource, and I'm glad our advisors can hear a little bit about what you have to weigh in on LinkedIn, which is our topic of conversation today. I want to preface that with that we ask you all to hold your questions to the end, you can add your questions into the IM log on your screen that you see there, and we'll answer them as they come up on the screen. We will be going fairly quickly just because we want to be conscientious of your time and keep this information to about 10 to 15 minutes and allow you the opportunity to ask questions at the end. So again, we're going to cover LinkedIn today, and basically, are you on LinkedIn and how to LinkedIn, how best to use the social media platform for your marketing. So are you on LinkedIn, along with a record 332 million people, which again, that grows, that is an ever-growing statistic. Did you know, obviously, as financial advisors, that 41% of millionaires are using LinkedIn? So that's obviously a high net worth profile out there on LinkedIn. And did you also know how to make LinkedIn work for you? So once you have a profile, are you putting that profile to work for you when making connections? So this is an overview. I'll let you look at that for just a minute and take that in. We don't need to go too far into it, but you can see that it's pretty much evenly split between men and non-LinkedIn. The ages between 31% between 30 and 49, and 30% between 50 and 64, and 21% at 65 plus. So again, all of our target audiences are represented in that age range, so we can certainly make the justification that your clients, both current and prospective, are on LinkedIn. It's just a matter of, are we doing the right things to get their attention? You can also see that the income bracket is probably in the income brackets between the 31% at 50 to 75K and 44% over 75K. These are income brackets of folks that are making investments and thinking about their retirement and their financial planning. Again, a little bit more specific to financial advisors, 9 out of 10 financial advisors who use social networks for business turn to LinkedIn. 49% of advisors acquired new clients. So of those, 29% gained 1 million in new assets. So for me, that's just the biggest argument as to why you need to really adapt this into your marketing plan, because who can say no to $1 million in new business that you didn't have yesterday?
Absolutely.
Exactly. So 3 points that we're going to cover today: your profile, posting versus updating. So basically, once you've created the who you are, what you share, how the best way to share that information and the difference between a post and an update. And then Sharon's going to wrap up our webinar today with some really great tips on connecting, because that's her expertise. So to jump right in, we're going to talk about your profile. You're going to be working on your profile, obviously right up here in this top toolbar here by Manage or Edit Profile. And the things that you're going to want to focus on are profile picture, which you can see Sharon has a very nice professional image that radiates confidence and is engaging. And those are key to being polished and attracting the folks that you want to do business with. The header image, it's hard to see in the screenshot, but again, if you go to her LinkedIn profile, you'll actually see that it reflects her brand and some of her creativity. So she's drawn them in both with her engaging picture and her banner ad that represents her brand and her identity. Then you can go on to your headline. As you can see here, it says CEO, and actually she's updated it since then, but CEO, marketing and communications expert, author, and professor. This is not something that you have to keep stable. You can change this and become really engaging and creative so that you can capture your audience. Let's say that you want to be a fixed index annuity expert. That could be a place where you would put that headline or that information. Retirement guru. Things like that are a way to make you stand out in the crowd The only warning there is if you are a registered rep and you are working with any compliance factors, you do want to keep that in mind, that you are compliant and submit any changes that you make to daily content through to your compliance department. Your customized URL is right down here, and you can click on that and edit when you're in Edit Profile, and you can make that actually a URL that also reflects your brand or your identity. So if you are Bob Smith Advisor, but you are Advisor Guru, then you're going to want to maybe make your URL Advisor Guru and not Bob Smith, because there's 80 million Bob Smiths on LinkedIn. So that's an example as to why personalizing or branding that custom URL can help you stand out in a sea of other advisors and a sea of other folks that may have a similar name or similar enterprise as you. Your skills and endorsements. I know we're moving along quick, so I just want to refresh everybody that I'm available for Q&A at the end. Skills and expertise. This is where you can add your skills, and it's important that you add as many things that you not just put retirement planning or financial planning. Really think about what you do to help people. So retirement specialist, Social Security, Medicare, et cetera. Any of those things that are applicable and that LinkedIn has populated for you, you should try to include in here so that you are searchable, and it basically acts like an SEO or search engine optimization of your LinkedIn, and it allows you to be more easily and more readily found as an expert in all of these skills. Including, it allows you to be endorsed, meaning that other peers in your group, in your connections, can endorse you. And that's important because, again, that's going to lend credibility to your profile and also move you up in your rankings in your profile. So you want to allow for endorsements if you are not a registered rep. Again, if you're a registered rep, that is not necessarily a possibility. Following industry and thought leaders, excuse me. This is important because if I go to a live feed on LinkedIn right now, I would see, on Sharon's profile, I would see content under her. And because she's following other leaders in her expertise or other leaders in the, out in the ether, she's going to show their content along with her content. So it looks like she has a really full, robust profile because she's showing her information along with the other leaders in the industry and thought leaders in the business community that she's following. So it kind of auto-fills or auto-populates your feed to look very robust, engaging. Your summary is where you, again, have an opportunity for SEO out there in the Google land. So if you are putting into your summary the keywords and addressing the key opportunities available to you with your advisory practice, then that's what you want to put in your summary. Everything and anything that you do in brief language. So you don't want to do a thesis statement, but you really want to identify the keywords and key points of business. And lastly, in your profile, what is considered part of your profile, you want to join groups. Go look at other like-minded groups, chambers of commerce, rotaries, business clubs that you may belong to in your area, retirement communities, any of those opportunities that may exist in LinkedIn for you to join the group and A, provide content, and B, get engaged. So that very quickly reviews your profile. And then we're going to move on to, now that you've built it, will they come? Well, you're going to need to provide some content, and you can do that in one of two ways. You can do that in a post, or you can do it in an update. We'll start with the one that's a little bit more time-consuming, but not too much. It's similar to a blog, and it appears almost like a blog in the Pulse section of LinkedIn. So it publishes, think of it like a newspaper article. So again, similar to a blog, you're going to add some images, you can add video, you can add links, you can really get some engaging content in there, and we suggest that you do that. If you are writing about an article that you read on Forbes, feel free to make a 30-second video as to why that article is important and why you're sharing it. So then do a brief synopsis, include the video, include the link to the article. That's going to create an engaging post. If you can do this weekly, that is ideal. One post a week would be a really great starting point. We can also help you create content and choose articles that are also approved, most likely through your BD. Update. Update is very simply the same thing it is on Facebook. It is just a quick, brief, and frequent content. It does not necessarily have to be industry specific to finance. You could certainly post on some new current news and events. You could post on the Grammys. Get diverse with your updates because it just creates you as a human being. It lets people know what you're interested in. If you enjoy fishing, maybe you want to do something why fishing is a great relaxation when you've had a stressed out week. You know, something fun and engaging that gives them an idea of the kind of human you are, your general interests, as well as a professional. So educational and informative, catchy phrases and images, and again, being off topic, have a little fun with it. Share authentically. This is important because if you're sharing about things that you are not passionate about or just canned content, and somebody reaches out to you and is passionate about what you posted and they're excited about having that common thread with you, and you didn't review what you posted or you weren't authentic about it, so you're not truly connecting with them, that can be a really big turnoff in social media land. So be careful because those are the things that can kill your connections. On that note, that would be our third point that I'm going to kick it over to Sharon is connections, because she will show you how your profile and now your content can equal more and more connections.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. So I built this methodology of social media marketing simplified. I talk about the keys to success is to know in your environment. And LinkedIn, I compare it to the environment of being similar to the boardroom. And so here it clearly states it's where professionals like yourselves gather together and use this platform to make introductions and to establish credibility. And so in order to make those connections, you, like Mara said, you have to first establish your credibility. Because the primary audiences are your Gen Xers and your baby boomers, we spend a lot of time getting to know information about, they want you to be a resource and to provide specific information that's not necessarily quick, but not necessarily slow either. So they want you to post at least 3 times, I would say, 3 times a week. Post about your industry. I agree with Mara. You have to get out there and be different in your post. And if it's about your industry and you can be funny, by all means do that. Make sure you're compliant, but do that. One way to connect, to build industry credibility, is to connect. And the specific thing that I call this is I mention it to be social media cold calling. So it's similar to cold calling. You're calling somebody to gain interest, to get to know how you guys can have synergy or possibly become a potential client. But to do this, it has to be very, very delicate because people protect their LinkedIn profiles with lock and key, not similar to some of the other ones where it's more pro-casual. LinkedIn is a little bit more professional, and so people guard this their profile very heavily at times. So I would go in and do social cold calling. So definitely people that you want to connect with, whether it's industry people or whether there's potential clients. You go in and you submit an email. If you have a premium account, you can send an email. But if you're not, you can go in and send them a request or get somebody to introduce you to this person, and then start with an introduction of yourself without being too selly. So, hi, my name is Sharon Washington. I saw some things in your, make sure you do research. So make mention to what you've seen in their profile, and then make it very kind of, not necessarily casual, but professional conversation to let them know that you want to connect together, synergy, rather than to sell a product. And so once you build those professional relationships, they'll see that you're posting currently, that you're resourceful, and they'll start to inquire about services and things like that. It's gradual. It happens very naturally. You want a natural, organic connection, even though it's professional, so that you can definitely become a resource to this person. And it equals connections all the time. I get requests all the time with connections, and those who are sending me initial messages that want to sell off the back, I'm this person, I want you to come to this event, I want you to buy this product or this service. I don't make them friends because they're not necessarily trying, or connections because they're not trying to connect authentically. So that would be my short suggestion on how to connect. Do social media cold calls. I would give yourself a number that you do every week and stick to that number, or definitely challenge yourself. I try to make 5 genuine connections a week to 1 a day.
Those are great tips, Sharon, and thank you very much. Again, I know that we have moved quickly, folks, that are joining us on the call, and that is our goal. We don't want to lose you, but at the same time, we don't want to take too much of your time, and we want you to leave with some action items. On that note, we also want to answer your questions. So do any of you have questions? And if so, you can type them in your IM toolbar and share them with us now, and we can answer them while we're on the call. And if we don't see any questions magically appear on our screen, then we will go ahead and end the webinar in just about a minute. We will have a replay of this shared on our Facebook and LinkedIn at KesslerFinancial.com, our website as well. And we encourage you to visit our website at KesslerFinancial.com for not just marketing tools, but product information, updates, and other webinars specific to current affairs in the industry. So we've got a lot going on right now. It's a busy month for those in finance, so we encourage you to visit our site and see some of our education opportunities. Sharon, I don't think we have any questions. That means we covered everything.
Okay, awesome.
All right.
Awesome.
Thank you all for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
All right, bye.
Bye.